Hello everybody and welcome to episode 7. So last episode, nothing achieved. I just fly and fly and fly, many rockets, many configurations, and I didn't understood how to lead that glacier or whatever that was named. How to reach 46,000 meters in sky with first motor. Have no idea. So this episode we take training. Basically, after we finish all training, maybe I will know more. So, I'm gonna go for advanced construction now, only. So if you don't care about that, just skip video. If I'm not gonna learn anything useful, I will go for next training, next episode. And so on. So, let's start. Advanced construction. Hopefully they will teach me all the things I miss. By the way, while loading was going, I had some kind of idea that maybe how they wanted me to achieve those 46,000. I should have to fly up with other booster and then test that little flea booster when I am on that altitude. Because in quest there was said, meet those conditions and then test the vehicle or something like that. I kind of didn't put attention to that. I thought it's like, part of a quest, conditions that are supposed to be met. But if you listen to the wording, it kind of sounds that first I need to meet those conditions and then I need to make a test. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. I will probably test that next time if I'm not doing training. So, okay, now back to the training. Welcome to the third and final tutorial about construction, the advanced construction tutorial. I had to delay some important work today to feed this in, so pay close attention so I show you how to real rocket scientist make orbital craft. Yeah, okay. So full of self. In our last tutorial, we'll build a vessel that could escape the atmosphere, but it didn't have enough oomph to escape for long. This time around, we'll cover more advanced rocket design concepts, like multiple stages and boosters, as well as the extra parts like RCS and solar panels. You'll want these if you spend more than a few minutes in orbit. When you're done, you'll have a craft capable of ascending to orbit, orbiting operations, and save return to Kerbal. And you can test it out in the Go for Orbit tutorial, which will teach you how to make use of it all. Yeah, alright. Getting started. You notice that there are lots more parts available this time. That's because an orbit-capable craft is much more complex than that little puddle jumper I showed you how to make last time. Yeah, of course. Probably not so special. Just extra boosters and that's it. However, the main principles are the same, so I hope you remember what I taught you. If you mess up and say somehow manage to delete your whole craft, you can Ctrl Z to undo your last change. Again, you only have one pod available, so go ahead and select it. If you select the wrong part, click it in the... Yeah. Just like the last time, select a parachute and place it. And again, like last time, adjust the parachute parameters by clicking on the part, just minimum pressure 0.17. Okay. You're now going to construct an upper stage. This upper stage will finish placing the pod in orbit and once there provide RCS steering thrusters and electricity for the pod. It will also provide all maneuvering capability in orbit, including the re-entry burn. It's going to consist of decoupler, we don't want to carry it home, an RCS fuel tank, a liquid fuel tank, 4 RCS thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries, and an efficient upper stage engine. Efficient probably means that it has a long battery, not a big power. That's quite the shop list, isn't it? So let me know when you're ready, I am. Firstly, we need to add a stack decoupler below the pod. So let us discard the parts when we don't want to bring back with us. Grab a decoupler from the toolbox and attach it to the bottom of the pod. Paying close attention so that its little red arrow as well as discussed before, pointing up, to make sure that the decoupler is oriented in the right way. If the arrows are pointing down, that's not good. Detach it from the pod and use M, A, S and D to rotate it. Oh. Decoupler. I don't see a red arrow. I see this little arrow. It's not red though. But I suppose this is what it meant. Next, well, add the RCS tank. RCS stands for Reaction Control System, and this fuel will help us with fine maneuvers. Go to tank categories and add FLR120 RCS full tank. Okay. I don't know what's the difference between these two. Here is some kind of drop, so I suppose it's like fuel, and this is electricity, maybe. The fuel tanks store monopropellant. No, doesn't sound like electricity. New advanced in plumbing technology made it possible to route SSD lines so at any point in the ship. So unlike liquid tanks. Oh, this probably just means it's liquid. Like these are all liquid. Although this should be solid. Yeah, hard to tell. Maybe that means it's electric. Well, too bad I didn't show how much energy it has. Or things like that. Tweak RSC loading. Your craft not going to need all the monopropellant in this tank. So to save some weight, right click to it to get the parts options and move the slider down to 96 units. Yeah, that's not gonna be a lot of weight. And what this is? Yeah, alright. Monopropellant is called that because while large rocket engines use two propellants, fuel and oxidizer, RCS uses a single propellant. RCS is generally less efficient, but it's good for small velocity changes in any direction, rather than just forwards, like the main engine do. So it's less efficient, but somehow you can change directions? Oh, that's weird. And can be used to rotate the craft as well as move in. Okay, so it's my fine maneuvering. Add propellant tanks. We'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks in this stage to get the right amount for the upper stage engine, and we need an extra tank to offset the weight of RCS. Offset the weight? Why that should be matter? Center of mass. Is this like wrong? Yeah, I don't understand. Anyway, so add a tiny rocket propellant tank. It's unnamed LFT blah blah blah, and add a medium one. So he wants this and big one. Add a Terrier engine. Lastly, for the main parts of this upper stage, we'll add an engine. The Terrier engine produces almost no thrust at sea level air pressure, but it's highly efficient in space and above 20 kilometers. So he has no. So I will have need 2 engines. Highly efficient in space. So this makes it good choice for an upper stage, since the engine will not be activated until the rocket has reached the conditions where this kind of engine works well. If you select the wrong engine, you can always throw it away and try again. So LV-99 Terrier. Yeah, that looks like some kind of ion engine. You know, that round thing with some kind of cathode or anode inside, I don't know. Okay, nicely done. That's a pretty well assembled upper stage, if I do say so myself. I'll get you to orbit if you put enough rocket under it. While we have this reasonable simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools we have available. To make sure that your ship flies controllably, some parts need to be placed carefully around a point inside the ship called the center of mass. This comb is spot where the mass what the fuck? This comb is a spot where the mass on one side is balanced by the mass on other side. Thrust applied through the comb will cause the ship to move without unwanted rotation. Properly applied around the comb will cause the ship to rotate without moving. Yeah, that's understandable, but mass is always in the center, no matter how many things I put. This makes the comb such a useful and important thing that we added a tool, so the assembly building can show you with a marker. Let's have a look at how that indicator works here. Click on comb indicator toggle and have one play. Here a picture out of each indicator highlight. Yeah, I already did a long time ago. Okay, let's adjust the fuel levels in some of the tanks and see how that affects the center of mass. Right click on the fuel tank and drag the fuel and oxidizer propellant level down to 0. Don't touch the monopropellant levels as they won't burned by the Terrier engine. As you do this, you'll see that comb moves during the flight. The vessel's comb will move in the same way as it burns the fuel until tank is empty. Yeah, I kind of already know that, but okay. So, not enough? Come on, man, what do you want me to do? Oh my god. What's wrong with you? Right click on each of the fuel tanks. Oh, maybe he wants me to reduce them to 0. Like completely. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, now go ahead and refill the tanks. And we can proceed to add some of the accessories in our upper stage. Yeah, I don't really see why it was necessary for me to see that mass moves up. Center of mass. Because I can't really do anything about it. It's like, doesn't play any role. Still rocket is on the bottom, still it pushes like that. It doesn't matter if mass is here or here. The only thing no. So, go ahead and refill the tanks, yeah. LCS thruster. Now that you know where the com is when the stage is full and when it's empty, you have the information you need to place RCS thruster. The RCS thruster are found in command and control category. Moving the spaceship without rotating it is called translation. This is a useful kind of maneuver for several reasons, including docking and other craft. In order for translation with RCS to avoid unwanted rotation, you need to balance the thrusters around the com, so the sum of the forces is balanced right on its natural pivot point. For two equal sets of thrusters, each set should be equidistant from the com. And for single set, what we are doing here, they should be right around com itself. What makes this complicated is that com changes during flight, as you just saw. So you need to place the thrusters at the compromise point between the wet com and dry com. Note that in carrier mode games, RCS thrusters don't become available until fairly late. In the meantime, the reaction wheel capability built into your command pod will probably be enough for turning in space, though reaction wheels will not allow you to translate. Okay, this was a bit hard. Basically, he said something that I need to put those boosters between, like, highest point here and highest point there, so somewhere on this line. Well, I could check real fast again. It's not like a big problem. And this doesn't do anything. So it doesn't even reach center of mass. Didn't even reach the line. And weight of that little booster doesn't affect anything, you could say. It like added 1 millimeter. Yeah, so center is about here. Just on the line. Okay, let's see. Let turn and angle snap to make aligning the thrusters part easier. And this is angle snap. Do that by clicking in the toggle snap icon in the lower left or pressing the C key. Ensure we have force symmetry. This is force symmetry. Turned on, and then place blah 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 on your upper stage. So he wants me to put on that. Yeah, okay. RV. Okay, it's some kind of special. Oh, this one? Huh? Oh, this is for this, I suppose. So it must go around. Is this not enough? Oh, sorry. Probably this what he meant by force symmetry. Or no. I wish it would show what kind of symmetry you have. Okay, let's read a bit. The tiny rocket propellant tank is about the right place to attach these, just in case you need a hint. Tiny? He means this or that? If you don't get the placement quite right, you can also use offset gizmo to fine-tune their position. Make sure to turn angle snap off before using the offset. You will want fine adjustment for that, and with snap turned on, the adjustments are anything but fine. Click the offset mode icon in the upper left. Which one is left? Offset icon. Make sure to turn angle snap off. You want to find adjustment, blah blah blah. Click the offset mode icon in the upper left of the main editor window. Main editor window. Offset icon. What the fuck you talking about? Do you mean this? Size, cost, mass, name. Build, action, crew, tools. I kind of get angry. Just to the right of the part list. Right of the part list. Where is part list? This is part list. This is part list. God. Why do I become angry so fast? Drag on the axis indicator to move it. If you want to reset this adjustment, hit space. When done, go back and place mode. Fucking hell. This game is so bad at these things. Like at the same time when I clicked map and it didn't tell me how to turn it off. Like, see everything from the space. Or when I entered the cabin with the guy inside, I couldn't turn it off. Now the same fucking shit. Just testing my patience. And there is not much to taste for me. It must be here somewhere, because all of these things is nothing to do with that. But it's bottom corner, not the upper. So I don't know. Filter by function. Just by the part list. What is part list? You mean this? Left of the part list, or what he said? Maybe these things, what he mean? Oh, maybe. Attach parts to offset. I think that's what he mean. So why it's move? They should say offset. Let's read again. Yeah, if you don't get place quite right, you can also use the offset gizmo to fine tune their position. Make sure you turn angle snap off. Okay, we found it. Also about this symmetry, you know, we want fourfold symmetry. Is this fourfold? It is in four, but I have only two thrusters. Okay, what I do with this? Make sure you turn angle snap off. You will want fine adjustment. The adjustments are anything but fine. Click on the offset mode icon in the upper left to main editor window. Then click on RCS part, drag one of the axis indicator to move it. Axis indicator? What the hell he talks about? Is it not on? Yeah, I kind of don't even understand what exactly we are putting on now. Is it thruster for this thing or for this? Well, I suppose it doesn't matter because it's all together. So I put it here. I don't understand what kind of fine movement he talks about. Drag one of the axis indicators to move it. What the fuck is axis indicator? It should be just on the black line. Yeah, I don't know what he talks about. Like, I turn it on, but nothing really changes. Oh, now it turned on. What the hell? So why it didn't turn first time? I don't really understand what he wants from me. It's not like these things show me where gonna be the center. It's so weird that it didn't work first time. I was doing exactly the same, I think. I think it doesn't work because I don't have a right amount. This is the real fourfold symmetry. Or maybe not. The fuck you want me to do, man? Everything is right. I remember, it's gonna stop around here. When it's empty. Short of a line. So it's here. It should be this line a bit middle, a bit lower. So what is wrong? Should be like this. Perfect. Although I'm gonna use them only when my booster is empty. Am I not? What's wrong? Why doesn't it work? Oh, now it works. Oh my god. These are fine adjustment things. I think should be like this when tank is empty. I hope I did right to put for electric charge. Lot of things on craft uses electric charge. That's what us cool scientists call rocket electricity. In order to keep your batteries topped up, you'll need a way to generate power. Now some engines generate electricity while they are running, but you don't want to keep your engines running in orbit. Your orbit would get all kinds of messed up and will run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it, but to be safe you can add more batteries, and you can add solar panels or other electricity generating items. We're going to do both. Switch to electrical category now and ensure we have angle snap turned on and are still in 4x symmetry mode. Why he always needed angle snap? Like it doesn't really matter, it changed like nothing. We'll use our part rotation skill to adjust the panels before placing them. That's okay. And E keys we used earlier. Why E? That's weird. Maybe it's some kind of, I don't know. Electrical. Grab the aux stat solar panel, hold it over the lower end of the fuel tank and press A to rotate it 90 degrees, then click a place of set of them. Hold it over the lower end of fuel tank. You mean here? And rotate. So he wants them to go here. On the fuel tank. Weird place on the bottom. I would put rather here, but well, I suppose it doesn't matter if you when you remove rocket, it all falls down. You can't really save them. Now go ahead and place a set of four Z100 batteries between solar panels. Upper stage complete. I wonder why we didn't put them here. What I meant is fuck. What I meant is why those electricity are supplied to us when we are connected with rocket. Like, we have enough power for that. Like, after we disconnect, we straight away lose all of this, and we are again ourselves. So shouldn't it be like connected on the top? Or one more stage here and then connected here? But okay. Excellent work. You built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. Now we need to work on getting it up to orbit, and for that we'll build up our lower stage. In comparison, the upper stage is quite simple, just a couple of tanks and an engine. That won't be enough alone, however, so we'll need to add some boosters too. Well, yes, we need boosters, because he said that this engine works only 20 kilometers, starting from 20 kilometers. It looks though completely different than in picture. Oh, that thing was not the engine, it was where it connects. Oh yeah, I see. Add another D12 stack decoupler on the bottom of the Terrier. Okay, that is really cool actually. Now I see how they expect me to reach 40,000 with that little engine. Like this. Little engine is inside. I first fly 40,000 kilometers up, remove the booster, and then that small engine fires. Yeah, that's very smart actually. I will do it next video. Not gonna take even to cosmos this thing. Well, need is during our ascent to discard the empty parts of the vessel below. Oh, and notice how when you added the decoupler, fairing is placed around the engine. This will get jetsoned automatically when we stage a decoupler. I didn't understand what he said, but whatever. He probably meant about that it become longer. Now we need to add a fuel tank for our lower stage. Add 2 of the medium rocket propellant tanks. What is medium? FL400? 2? Damn, this rocket is very long. Oops. And swivel engine. For our lower stage we need an engine that is sustainer. That's an engine that bursts from liftoff until after the boosters separate. Let's get scientifical for a second. Rocket engine performance is measured by specific impulse in the ESP of an engine And the ESP of an engine changes as the amount of atmospheric pressure around it changes. Just as the upper stage needed an engine that is good at the low air pressure at high altitude, the lower stage will need booster which is powerful at the higher air pressure at the low altitude. And the launch pad. And help carry the rocket through the transition from launch to upper stage. It will need a sustainer, engine which usually sits between boosters and upper stage engines. From performance perspective, having a wide range in between the two. So are the big engine you see there. The bottom of tank of our sustainer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is true. I know this fact. But the thing is, in real world, for some reason, it's usually just one engine. They don't bother. They sometimes put these rockets on the side, small ones. But they run same time as big engine anyway. It's just, you know, to get first impulse very strong. As strong as they can, probably. And then that engine that runs alone, and you see it becomes wider and wider, you know, it starts like a flame. At the beginning, like that, let's say. At the end, it goes are already like that. Tweak the swivel. At this default thrust level, the swivel is too powerful for the rocket you're creating. And for the ascent profile, we're going to teach you in the they're gonna teach me something later. Okay, so you'll need to lower its thrust level. It isn't as good a solution as picking a smaller, lighter engine with the thrust level we want, but well, there are only so many options. Right click swivel, lower its thrust limiter to 65. It will then only produce 65% of its full thrust potential, but it will also run longer because it's only burning 60% of much fuel, blah blah blah. Add radial decouplers. Nice. You now have the core of your rocket completed. You know, just a minute ago, I said that in real world nobody puts many stages. And now I think I remember a Webb telescope launch I was looking at. And maybe they were like separating something and then boosting another rocket. It kind of was very high though, out of the atmosphere almost. So I don't know. Maybe it was just, you know, a small fine-tuning motor. Anyway, doesn't matter. Nice. You now have the core of your rocket completed. But as I said before, you also be adding boosters to help the sustain engine get the rocket up and running. Two boosters symmetrically, so what we keep our craft balanced, and to make sure we don't lug the useless dry mass of the booster around after they burn out, we'll attach them using decoupler. This time, however, we use radial decoupler as the booster can sit beside our lower stage core instead. That way the sustainer and booster can fire at the same time. Yeah, that's just what I said about real world. So I have been putting attention, basically. Select 30 and add it in 2 times symmetry. Twofold symmetry. Oh, I suppose the symmetry means those yellow things. So this is fourfold because it's 4 yellows. And this is 2 because it's 2 yellows. I somehow look at you now at the axis and thought, oh, this is 4 symmetry because it divided by 4. Always wrong. So near the bottom of the lowest tank. Maybe somewhere here. SRBs, more boosters, is something you offer here around the KSC, and now it's time to add some. Add a pair of RT10 Hammer. These doesn't look small enough. Usually those side boosters are like little rockets. But whatever. Actually it looks pretty fine. Maybe I was wrong. Yeah, but how you add them? They doesn't want to add. Oh, like this? Damn, this is very hard tuning. Motherfucker. Barely. Tweak SRB thrust. Unlike LF engines, when you can adjust the throttle during flight, once you light the SRB, it burns at constant thrust till it's out of fuel. We can however use the throttle limiter, as we did on the swivel, to set constant thrust before we roll out on the launch pad. Right click on one of the SRBs and change its thrust limiter to 50. Do note that changing and tweaking value on one part that's been placed using symmetry will have the same change applied to its symmetry counterparts. Remember when I said I'll teach you how to make the pod and Thumper craft from construction basics? Well, this thrust adjusting is how that could be done. What the fuck? Remember when I said I'll teach you how to make that pod and Thumper craft from construction basics survivable? No, I don't. Well, this thrust adjusting is how that could be done, although you'd also have to put a decoupler on it. Add nose cones. Right now RSBs have flat pancake tops, which is simply not good look. Oh, and bad aerodynamics. Dynamically. Let's fix that by adding pair of nose cones. Yeah, I think I saw them somewhere. These things. Add fins. While we are on the tab in the toolbox, let's add some fins too. Fins come in various sizes and styles. Styles? We don't care for style, only for performance. And as we learned earlier, will help stabilize your craft. Since these fins are control surfaces, they also add some extra control authority when low in the atmosphere. Where the air is thick enough from have to help. Add AVR the wing winglets in fourfold symmetry near the bottom of the lowest fuel tank. Oh, these are big guys. It's not fourfold? I thought I clicked. Well, it looks like... Why it's turning back to... wrong? Okay, this rocket looks pretty cool. I love it. Okay, and make sure you don't intersect the coupler. If they do overlap those parts, and flight will be interesting but exceptionally short. Fix stacking. Excellent. Oh, stacking. What the fuck? Staging. Excellent. We now got all the components and our basic orbital rocket, but let's run through the few extra things before we call it day. Firstly, we should review the staging stack to check the order of actions and parts displayed here. It's lucky I highlighted it for you because the SRBs are set to fire before the sustainer, and that just won't do. I could just press these and then straight away press one more time and fire that one. You won't have enough thrust to get off the pod that way. Move the swivel staging icon down into the same stage as SRBs. Fuck. If I know what that green thing means. Note that automatically created staging sequences would work if we did not want the long burning sustainer to ignite at the same time as the high thrust booster, but since we do, we had to adjust them manually. Align for launch. Finally, pick up the pod and rotate it 90 degrees around the vertical axis. Why? Pod? Did he mean this? Pick up the pod and rotate it 90 degrees. Q and E? Oh, I don't understand what he wants me to do. This will rotate the ship not just in the VAB but also set its orientation when go to the launch pad, so that our designed flight heading of east compass 90 will be matter of steering in the pitch up and down axis rather than by default part of VAB are oriented so they all align north. Oh, I see. Yeah, but oops. Is this right? I don't understand this direction. They could add some kind of compass. It looks just all the same to me. But alright. Action groups. We always make every effort to ensure our brave crew survive, and hopefully we will take the same stance in your space program. It doesn't always work out the way, of course, but it's the thought that counts. At last, those blah blah blah. With that in mind, let's set up an abort action group for your craft for use in case of emergency. Know that in carrier mode you'll have to upgrade the VAB or SPH in order to access action groups. Click on the turquoise action group button on the left of the toolbar. It's part of a cluster of 3 buttons. Oh. Cluster of 3 buttons. Hit this one? Turco is a action groups button in the left of the toolbar. What is toolbar? This is toolbar. This is toolbar. This? Oh yeah. That's not group of 3. It's 4 buttons. Fuck this game. Action groups. Action groups let you assign the functions of one or more parts to a single specific key. There are some default action groups. Landing gear automatically go in the gear group. Brakes on wheels go in the brake group. And some custom ones activated by the keyboard numbers. Because the order of these keys and standard boards, the action groups are numbered 1 to 9 and then 0. I set up an action group. Click on the desired action key from the menu, then click on the part you want to activate. That action already assigned to the group. Blah blah blah. To add and remove items, you simply click on them to move them left or right between columns. To clear all action groups selection from the part, click reset in the selection column. We're going to set up the abort action group. It's triggered by pressing backspace or by clicking on the big red abort button in the flight. I thought he just said that you use keys 1 to 9. And now he says got some kind of backspace. The slides out from the left. Alt, blah blah blah. First click on the abort button in the action group. Oh my god. Alright. Great, now click on the decoupler right below the pod. And its decoupler. And add its decoupler action in a group. This? Decouple? Okay. Finally click on one of the radial decouplers. What is this? Radial decoupler. Unassign decoupler. What the fuck I did? Did something change? Great, now click on the decoupler light below the pod and its decouple action. Then click on the each liquid engine in turn and assign their shutdown. Liquid engine. I can't reach those stupid engines. So why did I put these? Click on the each liquid engine in turn and assign their shutdown function to group. Each liquid engine. These are the liquid engines. Oh, that is liquid engine. Well, these are definitely not liquid. I think liquid engine is inside. Damn, I thought this training gonna be fast, but it's not, and I'm getting angry all the time. Okay, how can I find that liquid engine actually, if it's hidden? Oh, I got it right away. Where is shutdown? This one. Shutdown. Click on one of the radial decouplers. Okay, now this is the radial. How I even did it before? Somehow read middle part, not upper part. Now when you trigger the abort action in flight, the engines will shut down, or if they can't shut down, be decapulated. The capsule will separate from the rest of the ship, and it should be safe to land by itself. Remember that deploy your parachute on its safe. However, this may require staging a number of times, since the stage counter won't advance by itself and apart the couple before. Yeah, okay, I understand. Summary, and there we are. Your orbital rocket is ready to fly. It's been a long session, yes it is. And thanks for hanging in there, in which we cover lots of different advanced techniques for rocket construction. Give the new ship a name and save it. That's always good practice. Then I recommend you try flying it in the Go for Orbit tutorial. Alright, we're done. Thanks for watching. Next episode I probably gonna make excuse me, my own ship. Not gonna go for training. So bye.